Oh, I'm so sorry. I had my mic muted. I'm so glad that that Rory interceded. Let me start over really quickly. I've just been talking for about 7 minutes, and my mic was muted, and I apologize. Um, what I want to do, and thank you so much for staying, because the number of people in the room has just continued to rise. Is I want to provide you with some of the roadblocks and some of the building blocks and fundamentals that you need to become a successful trader. And no matter, so I try to make these webinars educational so that even if you decide that you don't want to come aboard, you don't want to buy our software, you don't want to become a trader with me, you still learn something. And you took away value from this webinar. And one of the important things is you have to avoid the pitfalls. Now, I never talk negatively about anybody else because there's lots of right ways to do things. We have not cornered the market on what I think is a very powerful way of trading. And I like to think that we have price by the throat. I think there are other companies out there that are reputable, honest, and do things correctly, even if it's different than the way we do it. But there are these Facebook, YouTube, Instagram gurus. And I just want to give you a little heads up because they not only hurt you if you come aboard with them, they also create a damaging expectation for the way that you are going to trade and for what you think you can accomplish. So I'm not doing this so much to diss them, but to keep you away from getting roped into their intellectual baloney, and what's going to lead you into taking a lot of losses, and for you to wind up blowing your account. Now, here's your typical Facebook guru. Now they torture me because they have my cookie. They know I'm interested in this topic. So every time I look at Facebook, I have 100 million of these on my feed, or on my thread. If I go to YouTube and I play music, that first 5 seconds is the same guys proffering the same stuff over and over again to me, and sometimes I just want to scream. But they all are scripted, and they all come in this. They all come at you in the same way. And I just want, again, it's a heads up. If you walk down this path, you're going to lose money. All of them got an epiphany. They started out poor. Some of them were living under a bridge with massive debt, or they had a poor paying job. And then one morning they woke up and they got an epiphany. I mean, it just hit them. There's one kid with gelled hair who couldn't be more than 20 years old. I mean, there's a whole litany of people out there. Some of them say they found a guru to teach them. It's all a little bit of a variation, but the bottom line is, with no formal training, they're going to tell you they turned this infinitesimally small amount of money into millions of dollars. And now they're going to give back to you because they have this social mandate. Now that they're independently wealthy and have millions of dollars in the bank, it's time to return that to society. So for $1,999 or for $149 a month, they're going to teach you exactly how they did it. Every one of their systems is incredibly simple. Anyone can do it. It's always based on some type of chart pattern because they can't require any software. They don't want you to have to buy anything. And if it doesn't require any software, it's operational on every platform, no matter what you trade. You can trade Thinkorswim, you can trade Ninja, you can trade E-Trade, and it doesn't matter. So it's software independent. And they constantly are on Facebook, YouTube. I see them on Instagram, and they fly around in their private jets. They have mansions. And the reason they do that is they don't establish validity via their trading. They establish it via social validity. if you see them in a corporate jet, supposedly their jet, then they're associated with money. If you see them standing in front of a Maserati, then they're rich. They need to convince you that they took $100 and turned it into $100,000, and now they're independently wealthy. Now, I listen to a lot of the webinars because sometimes I hit a webinar where I learned something, and it's great to hit someone who teaches me something. But 99% of the time, what I do is I wind up listening to this craziness. And 75 to 80% of the webinar I simply spent them talking about their lives and about their story and about their history, all to convince you that they're the real deal and you can also become a multimillionaire. Now, I have sent emails to these guys and questioned them, and what they usually do is they block me. And there's one guy who says he turned 100 into 100,000. Now, if he could really do that, why can't he take 100,000 and turn it into 100 million? And that's all I emailed him. I said, why offer this to us? Just take your 100 grand and turn it into 100 million. If you look at the great investors of our time, like Peter Lynch and Warren Buffett and Carl Icahn and John Templeton, you will never find any of these guys on Facebook offering you their trading methodology for 79 bucks or for 19.99, because they're in the business of making money. These guys create results that dwarf the results of the greatest investors of all time, and they convince an enormous number of people that they do it. Now, I redacted this so you couldn't tell who it was, but this is a real typical slide or landing page. Learn my 3 favorite stock trading patterns I use daily. As I said, there's no software. Are you looking to step up your trading strategy? In this free training, Legendary Trader blank will show you the incredible, powerful, yet simple, it's got to be simple, he used to personally generate, it says positive returns, but the asterisk leads you to millions. In each of the past 5 years, sign up now and get this guy's top 3 trading patterns. Now, I'm going to show you what those trading patterns are. I'm going to show you why they just don't work. Now, these are pre-recorded webinars. No matter when you go on, they're always going to start in 5 minutes because they're all Infusionsoft based and they are not live. They want you to think they're live, but they're not. They run all night sometimes. Now, why are these phonies so damaging to you, and why do they hurt you so badly? Yes, they take your money up front, but why they work to destroy your trading career is they create unrealistic expectations that you can never meet. And if you can't meet these expectations, yet you truly believe they've been achieved by others, you're going to trade yourself off a cliff. They tell you that making millions is simple. Now, believe me, you and I both know it isn't simple, because if it was that simple, we'd all be trillionaires, and I wouldn't be here tonight. It is not simple. It's hard. It takes discipline, and you have to learn. And the other thing that you really have to be aware of is the educational trading room. They never take live trades. Traders in the room are always posting their trades via JPEG after the fact. Their entire role is to create emotional pressure on you to buy. Just like the Facebook gurus, these guys create the expectation that if you come aboard, you're going to make money, because everyone in the room is posting winning trades after the fact. And they are shills in the room who just do this over and over again. I know who does it. I wouldn't, in no way would I ever mention their name. And they're all used to appeal to your greed and to your FOMO, to get you to buy. Now, we all have greed, and it's healthy to have greed. I mean, I want to be a multimillionaire, and so does everybody. I mean, that is a normal, healthy desire. And fear of missing out, or FOMO, is just a normal, emotional, um, very compelling emotion. You don't want to miss out on on the potential for making millions. So if they create social validity and get you to believe it can be done easily, you're going to get this FOMO. I don't want to miss out. I'm going to buy. And here's what, and I'll tell you, I just took this from topstockresearch.com. You can get this JPEG right off the internet. This is all they're going to teach you. This is a rising triangle. You know, stock price bounces inside the triangle. It breaks out, retests support, and goes up. This is a descending triangle. A series of sequential lower highs, breaks to the downside, retests resistance, and then goes down. Then here's a symmetrical pattern. You don't know which way it's going to break out, but when it breaks out, you wait for it to test support and then continue up. That's all they're going to teach you. And I'm summarizing now 1 hour's worth of teaching in about a minute and a half. This is all you're going to learn. Remember that? Whoops. Somebody's calling me on Skype. Let me just wait for that call to end. I just hit the wrong button. Hold on a second. Let me take that out. Okay. Now, they will also teach you this cup and handle, which is also another pattern, which is very common. It's called the J pattern. And the person whose landing page I showed you teaches this J pattern, where the stock makes a bottoming pattern, then comes up, buyers come in, then you get a handle, and it breaks out to the upside. Now, these are all valid chart patterns. Let me do one more. And here's another one. I just took this right out of Google. It's nothing proprietary. You know, here's a rising. This is just a wedge pattern. It breaks out. Now, these gurus trade all of this successfully. Here's a triangle and a double top. It breaks down. I'm not even going to go through all of this. This is all you're going to learn. And the reason these patterns have validity but don't make you money is they've been around for 25 years and have a 75% failure rate. You're going to make money, but you're going to give back an enormous amount. But they trade these patterns, especially this one, the ascending, descending triangle, symmetrical triangle, bull flag, bear flag. They trade them and they make millions and millions of dollars. Their stock scanners are all based on these patterns, which have been around literally since the dawn of time and have never made anybody any money. Now, I actually snapshotted these off of somebody else's webinar. Now, I'm not going to tell you who they are, because that would be very, very unfair. But these are JPEGs that they created in order to create amazing FOMO in you, which is fear of missing out. Now, there's no time frame here. I didn't pull it off. There wasn't one here. We see the price. I have no idea when this occurred, and it was not discussed in the webinar. But I snapshotted they're selling. Now, this stock made a 400% move from their original buy.
No, Mark is busy right now. He's working. I'll have him call you back, okay?
So that was Rory. So here's your rising channel. And hang on one second. Let me just tell Rory that his mic is open. I'm sorry. Hang on one second. Okay, so let's go. So you can see it breaks out and then it runs up 400%. You know, this is one person who keeps calling me over and over again. So they're trying to get you into this 400% move. Now, there's also a buy here on this small break of resistance, retest of support, and a move up. And here's Internet Japan Daily. I didn't even look at this stock. I have no idea what it's about. I'm sorry. Hold on. And you can see it creates a double top, breaks, goes all the way up here. They make 200%. It's unbelievable. Here's Yahoo. Now, I can't give you the time here. Here's a falling channel, breaks out of the top, never retests. They buy here, and in 5 months, they double the price of the stock. Here's Hovnanian, and I believe they're a home builder, but it doesn't really make much difference. From the original buy point at 45, the stock doubled in 6 months. Now, this is a support line. It's a trend line. I'm going to talk really briefly about trend lines, but there's a break of support. They sell. Then there's this consolidation period. It breaks. They buy. They buy again. They buy again. They're never wrong. Now, this is what they're using to sell. And let me tell you, this is a very popular program and a very expensive program. There's one more, China.com, up over 100% in 2 weeks. It's all based on chart patterns. They're always right. And they're great as a retrospective analysis. Trend violation, there's a sell here. This is right off of somebody else's webinar who wants you to buy their simple chart patterns for a lot of money. I just want to warn you, if this is the route you're going to go, and you're going to look for 100, 200, and 300% winners, you're never going to make any money. Now, what I want to show you is our trade scanner. Now, before I even go into it, I want to pull back your expectations. The trade scanner, as I mentioned, is going to give you probably 17 plus winners out of every 20 trades it signals. They may be home runs, but it's unlikely to be a home run. What they're going to give you is repetitive singles, doubles, some triples. But it's not based on simple chart patterns. It was a very, very difficult system to create. And it was created using very complex algorithms. And here's the other thing that's extremely important, which I want you to understand. The market changes. And what we do every 90 days is we do a market, we run market replay at 500 speed. And we check the average true range of all the instruments. So we look at their volatility and we look at certain metrics so that we can tweak our system. I've seen systems out there that have been static for 10 years. Those systems cannot work. As market conditions change, your software has to be modified in order to deal with these alternative market conditions. Now, we're one of the few companies that have a master's degree in computer programming on staff, and it's Sergio. And if you've been with the company a while, you know the guy. He's a genius. They take their money and they take a static program that uses all data from the trading chart, and it never changes over a period of 10 years, and they sell it to you. We take the money that they spend on advertising and we give it to Sergio. He's expensive. because he's highly trained. And we do an enormous amount of programming here. And we do an enormous amount of tweaking because no system holds up over an extended period of time without taking into account the change in market circumstances. And let me tell you, they have changed dramatically over the course of the last few months. Now, let me show you the first trade. And I'm going to give you, I want to give you a fairly good idea of exactly what we're looking for on a trade. Now, all these trades were on Friday. Now, I just pulled Apple because everyone likes Apple. And unfortunately, I can't see how much money this trade made. Because when I shot the slide, I pushed this off. And I think it made about 75 or 80 cents on the trade. Like I said, it's not a home run. But this is an extremely low risk trade. And this is what you're going to get over and over again. Now, the background color tells you that you have a multi-time frame alignment in trend. And you always want to trade in that direction. You're not looking at a bull flag or a bear flag or a rising triangle or a falling triangle. You're looking essentially at the way that institutional traders leave their footprint on the market in terms of the movement of price on our charts. When you get a multi-time frame alignment in trend, it does not happen as a random chance event ever. It happens because the big institutions are selling Apple. So it's a marker of money flow. And this dark pink color doesn't happen that often. It's the strongest downtrend there is. We have three separate powers. And if you come aboard, you're going to be in the trading room with me. And you're going to see that I pretty much only like to trade the dark pink, because that is the strongest downtrend there is. You'll note that the 50 is down. The 15 is down. Also, this line looks at correlative markets. And I don't want to get, I don't want to get tied up in a webinar that lasts 3 hours. But this is a tremendously powerful assessment of money flow. Now, a lot of software says that it can tell you the direction of money flow, but you know that's not possible. Institutional traders are not going to tell you whether they're buying or selling a stock, a future, or a Forex market. You have to look at the footprints they leave behind that tell you the direction of money flow. This is looking at markets that either correlate in the same direction as Apple or the counter trend direction. So if money is flowing out of Apple, it's also tracking where money is going into. It's a very, very difficult assessment to do on stocks, but we've done it really well on about 500 stocks. Now, our oscillator is an exponential oscillator because price on a Uni-Renko chart does not move arithmetically, it moves geometrically. And this is an optimized algorithmic system where the one indicator that utilizes just price from our trading chart has to move in a geometrically fast to capture the move. And you can see that red triangle on the red background with the red 50 and the red 15, which signal you in on the trade alert and get you into this trade one tick below the close of the entry candle and take you all the way to the bottom of the trade. Now, it does have a trailing stop, and we do have targets. Now, just a quick statement about targets. You can't ask for $10 on a trade. If you do, you're never going to hit your target. Your target has to be based on the average true range of the instrument. And you can sell 50% of your shares at a certain price and close out the rest at a certain price. That optimized automatic trade management strategy, which we give you, is based on math. It's not based on what you like or what you want. It's based upon what the market's going to give you. Now, the risk to reward on stocks is amazingly good. You're going to get 3 to 5 to 1 risk to reward. So on this trade on a 4 Uni-Renko, and I don't really want to talk about Uni-Renko bars, but they are without a doubt the best way to trade now. And I traded range bars for years. And before that, I traded tick charts for years before that. I never thought anybody would get me off a range. But range and Uni-Renko have a lot in common. There's no time component. There's no tick component. It's just how far the market moves. And using 3 inputs, we optimize the size of these candles to capture the move in the most profitable way possible. Now, here's a trade on Facebook. Now, this is a 54-cent trade. Again, and in almost all instances, I left the time in and I left the price in because I want this to be transparent. Now, if you're trading Facebook, you're only taking 25 cents of risk on potentially 54 cents of reward. Again, it's not a home run, but it's an exceedingly low risk, potentially high reward trade. And that's all you can get out of the market. We're trading in the direction of the multi-time frame trend with the 50 green, the 15 green, and our correlative markets telling us that money is flowing into Facebook. And you'll notice how this line really correlates to a great degree with this multi-time frame trend. And that's because they are created by the institutional money. And it's important to note that this green background does not look at price on your trading chart. It looks at price at the 2 higher Uni-Renko timeframes. This is a 4 Uni-Renko, so it looks at the 6 and the 8 Uni-Renko. And this is looking at other markets completely. So we pretty much ignore all the data from the trading chart. And we look at other time frames or other markets. The only thing that we use to analyze an entry is the oscillator generated signal. Now here's another trade. This is on Costco. Now Costco is on the watch list. If you come aboard every week on Sunday night, you're going to get a watch list. And everybody, I think, wants to know what's the best stocks to watch for the week. What are going to create the most volatility? I'm going to show you how I create that watch list. And it's really part of the due diligence I do looking at my options portfolio. It's the same assessment. Now, Costco came out with, I read their earnings report. I thought they were pretty good, but they just didn't meet the street's expectations. And Costco had its worst day in 15 years. So I knew before the market opened on Monday morning that Costco was going to have tremendous volatility. Now here's one trade on Costco for 77 cents. Risk is 25 cents. Same day, another trade on Costco right here. This is on the 14th. And this is a trade for almost $1 for 96 cents. This is going to signal you right into the trade. Here's another trade on Costco for 73 cents. You can see that Costco is really experiencing tremendous volatility because of the earnings report. And here's another trade on Costco. Unfortunately, I knocked this off. I'm sorry about that when I shot the slide. So I can't see how much money this made. But you've got 4 trades on Costco, all of them enormously low risk. Risk to reward is 25 cents. Reward on most of these trades was either 3 to 1 or 4 to 1. This is how you're going to make money day trading stocks. You're not going to do it trading small biotech breakouts out of rising triangles or falling triangles, tracing these hoodlums. They're not going to make you any money. Now, here's the Qs. I love to trade the Qs. If you trade the Qs, you can really hang in with them. As long as the 50's down and the 15 down. Now this is a 50 EMA of a 50 EMA. It's a unique line. It's an EMA of an EMA. And this is a 15 EMA of an EMA. These are very unique lines. And once you're triggered in, based upon your risk tolerance, you either close the trade here on the first reversal or ride it all the way down. If you do ride it all the way down, you're going to make almost $1 on 25 cents of risk. Or the Qs are going to give you multiple entries on the day. If you want to try, and if you want to day trade options, which I do not do, $1 on a deeply in the money option is going to make you really nice money. Here's another Q trade for 52 cents. Like I said, understand and moderate your expectations. What you want are simply multiple repetitive winners. Don't look for that biotech $10 breakout or you're going to go bankrupt. Another 52 cents. Now here's the SPY, and the SPY is another great instrument to trade. Right now, the NASDAQ and the E-mini and the SPY have tremendous volatility, and that's all you want to leverage. There's your triangle, there's your entry, the 50's down, the 15's down. You're trading in the multi-time frame direction, which is down. Money flow is down. This is very unlikely to come back and stop you out. Now it will 2 to 3 times out of every 20 trades. Some joker will come in and push this thing up, or you're going to get an abrupt reversal. It's going to happen. It's not 100%. If I told you it worked 100% of the time, you should button up and leave. But it works well over 80% of the time. I don't want to push it into 90%, but it's close. Here's another trade on the SPY, 72 cents. It's exactly what we're looking for on the entry down. Now here is GameStop. Now people think that they can't make money off of these little small stocks. I don't know. Unfortunately, I cut the price off of here. GameStop's really cheap. But there's the triangle, there's the entry. You make 27 cents, and this is only on 11 cents of risk. This is a 2 Uni-Renko, because GameStop is a cheap stock. But GameStop, based upon my assessment on Friday, was going to experience significant volatility. So we put GameStop up on our watch list, and we got a very, very nice trade. I mean, you could easily buy 1,000 shares of GameStop, and on only $110 of risk, make almost 270 bucks. And that's a great trade. Now here's Shopify. Now I love Shopify. I think it's got a great business model. I think long term, it's a great buy and hold stock, but I'm gonna show you how I saw it. I knew that Shopify on Friday was going to have tremendous volatility. I wasn't sure if it was to the downside or the upside, but this is a $1.02 trade on Shopify on a lousy 11 cents of risk. That's 10 to 1 risk to reward. You're not going to find that anywhere. Now, you could have gotten out earlier if your risk potential is lower, and you may not have been able to ride it all the way down. But based on our automated trade management strategy, we would have gotten close to $1 out of this trade. It's a tremendous trade. And this is also on futures are really amazing. This is a crude trade on Friday. There's your entry, 37 ticks. Now, you traded that with 2 contracts. That's a lot of money. Whoops. Well, here's the E-mini, 8 points. These sets of correlative markets, what are they? These are the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the Russell. Really simple on this line. This is a line I can tell you exactly what it's tracking. This is doing a multi-time frame assessment of the trend of the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the Russell. Now, if the E-mini is in a multi-time frame trend to the downside, and the multi-time frame analysis of the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the Russell are also heading down, it's only because the institutions are involved. This doesn't occur randomly. This line is oftentimes yellow, and you can't trade. Background bias is oftentimes clear, or it's not this dark pink. You get this oscillator entry. That's an 8-point move. I mean, if you traded that with 2 contracts, that's a big, big winner. So what I really want simply to show you is forget these simple chart patterns. We are tracking money flow. We are not assessing this based upon almost any data that comes off our training chart. And this is tweaked every 90 days. We change the parameters and we change the code. Right now, the Uni-Renko settings for the E-mini, I believe, are a 428. I can't remember exactly because because that's really Sergio's department, but we tweak the size of the Uni-Renko candle based upon the behavior of the E-mini. Now, before I go to the offer, I want to show you how I create the watch list. Because it's not just a watch list I throw out. It's really done with a lot of work. Now, what I do all week, this is Benzinga. And Benzinga is a terrific platform to tell you what's going on in the market. And what you have to do for the entire week is watch what I do is I create alerts. Because this is so much information that it's simply just hard to assimilate all of it. So if you go here, here's my alerts. And I go to my settings. And hang on a second here. Alerts. Here they are. So what I get emails about are any market moving exclusives, any earnings guidance that I think is important, insider trades I want to know about. And these go right to my email. All the big options trades and any small cap data. Now, the earnings announcements are key. I used to look at market upgrades and downgrades, but I simply found that really doesn't necessarily move the stock. What moves the stock is money. And money is created by insider buying and by major options purchases. And let me give you an example. Where do I put it here? Hang on 1 sec here. Nope, hold on. Let me just go to the news feed. Okay, I'm going to put an INO. Now, INO has had huge numbers of gigantic options trades cross in the course of the last few days. And I look for these cluster purchases. Now, if you want to get into a real small stock, it's only $6 and it's heading down. This is a great stock to trade. Inovio was down 5%. This is the kind of thing that this feed tells us. if we put in here Shopify, we're going to get all the data on Shopify. And we're going to know surprise share offering. There are a whole bunch of things I saw here. I'm not going to go through it in too much detail. That told us that Shopify was going to move. And that's why it was on there. Now, if you look at Costco, Costco got crushed. Shareholder alert, they're getting sued. As soon as a stock takes a beating, all these law firms move in to sue everyone because they're the old story. I can go down the whole data feed. It's in red when it's major. You see that you can see right here, and earnings after the bell, Costco got really killed. Now here is a big options trader, Mike Kuo. I see him on here all the time. He said the options market is implying a move of 2 to 4%. And I do believe he recommended a put trade, a trade to the downside. This is how I create my watch list, off of this kind of data. And it's very effective. Look at the move on Costco in one day. 20%. That's why we got 4 trades on Costco. And you don't want to be sitting on a watch list on a stock that doesn't have any triggers. Now, if you want to trade small biotechs, I look for them. They're eminently tradable. You just need some market generating news, which is maybe they're going to have an FDA prediction come out. What's really great about the way we trade is we don't have to take a long position or a short position. All we are looking at is that the upcoming FDA announcement is going to create a significant amount of volatility. That's all that matters. See right here, this is what we look for. We look for big after hours movers. CLMT, Costco, Shopify, SNH among notable after hours movers. And we know these stocks are going to be big time tradable in the following morning. And that's what I base the watch list on. It takes me a lot of work and a lot of time. I have to look ahead at what's coming up with earnings. If I see something like this on a Thursday or Friday, I will send out the email and let you know to put Costco on your alert. So I wanted you to see exactly how we do it. Now here are 2 trades right off the charts on the E-mini. Right here, this is a live chart. If I scale this, it's 4 points. And if I scale this, it's 11 points. And this was on Friday. So, I mean, I could go through multiple stocks, multiple markets. It also is great. I don't have a data feed for Forex up and running, but it's great for Forex. And let me show you the offer, and I'll answer any questions you've got. And I'm just gonna, without even projecting it, look big. I'm just gonna show it to you here. Now it's the Uni-Renko scanner, and you get the indicators. A lot of traders were not sure about that. Now it's normally $24.99. The special offer was $999 for a lifetime license. We're offering it. You're going to get the link tonight if you want. It's $499, 1 month apart. Now it's active on any stock, any future, in any Forex market, and on any time frame. If we have truly determined what forces are active in the market to govern the future movement of price in the market, it's got to be instrument independent, stock futures or Forex, and it must be time frame independent. If you're told that this only trades the Forex, this only trades futures, this only trades stocks, this only trades a 450 tick, the system right off the bat is junk. It's got to be able to trade everything because that's a true optimized system. Now, right now, we're going to give you add-ons and upgrades for life. And I'm telling you, and I don't mean this as a marketing gimmick, we are ending this in 2019. It has cost us $100 trillion because we do an amazing amount of programming here. Now, you're always going to get free updates. If we make this system better, you're always going to get that better system, and you're never going to pay us any money. But for 5 years, I've been giving out free add-ons, and we're not doing that. If you purchase before 2019, you get this as on your receipt in writing. And to give you an example, you buy the system, we are very soon going to automate it. It trades so great and the entries are so reliable. There's almost no reason you need to watch it. So we are going to launch the automated system right after the first of the year. Right now, you're going to get that as a free add-on. After 2018 is ended, you're going to have to buy that, even if you own this scanner. So don't tell me I didn't warn you, but that's not going to be a free add-on anymore. So you get all the updates, but after 2019's up, you're not getting, and this shouldn't be free upgrade. This is going to be add-on. And we're not doing that anymore. It takes too much programming time. I mean, it takes Sergio 100 programming hours to do it. And let me tell you, when you have a master's degree in computer science, you are not cheap. And like I said, no companies do that. They'd rather spend their money on Facebook and YouTube and sell you rising triangles. You'll also get a 10-module educational training session, which is worth $1,000, 450 videos. And I didn't put it in here, but you're going to get 1 month in the training room with me. Now, I want to show you really quickly our performance from last week, right off of Ninja. The last week was from the 14th through the 10th. Everyone in the room has seen this before. We're going to let it generate. So these are live trades taken in advance with Chart Trader up. We go through this every single day. We made $1,387. Now, did we make $1 million? No. Are you going to have a Ferrari in your garage in 3 weeks? You're not. But on the small number of contracts we trade, if you can make $1,000 a week, that's $52,000 a year. If you increase the number of contracts, you'll make $100,000 a year. I trade the system on the right edge every single day. I'm in the trenches with you because our software works, and I'm there to fight the markets with you. I can't really give you any more information than that, or be more forthright or be more honest. I'm not going to tell you we made $10,000 in the live trading room, because we didn't. We made just under $1,400, but it takes an enormous amount of patience and an enormous amount of discipline. Now, there was one other point I just wanted to make, and it's about pivots, but I'm going to hold off on that. Now, let me see if there are any questions. I got it open. Hang on one second here. Okay, hang on. Okay. Let me move that. Hi, Mark. I'm sorry, I'm going a little crazy. If a person goes to two-pay and makes the first payment, totally hates the software. Okay. 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 I know. I'm sorry about that. No sound. I hear that. I know. I had the free mic muted. Okay. Got 100 people telling me there's no audio. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Okay. Here's our first question. I'm a new customer. I have real admiration and respect for all you've worked so hard and diligently to create and accomplish a ride line. I purchased a monthly trial last week, but unfortunately, we don't have the software working yet. Looking forward to tomorrow. Same here, Joseph. Great to have you aboard, and I think you'll be very, very impressed. That's why we put you in the room. It's great to have you aboard. We do have price by the throat. You're going to see. We're going to have great volatility this week, which is very unusual for a holiday season. And we're going to beat up the markets. And I want to try to make 1,500 to 2,000 this week. Yes, Ty, you can do it. Okay? You know, Ness, I wasn't talking about focused day trading systems. I'm telling you, there's so many that do it this way that you have no idea. I'm not going to go into the name of the company, but there are a million that do it. And I think it's unprofessional of me to mention a name, but you'll spot them a mile away. They really do. Everybody is already a multimillionaire. They've already made a fortune. And if you ask them why they just don't continue to make and accrue millions and millions more, it's simply because, they have this social need to give back to society, which is a bunch of baloney. What their social need is to scam you out of your money. That's how they're going to make all their money. Believe me. And I see a million, and it really is sad because they're very, very astute marketers. I'm sorry, Charlie. Yes, Jim, I do. We show everything, Jim. We show chart trader. We show our targets. We show our stops. We show our profit loss on every trade. And what I do at the end of the trading session is exactly what I did this evening. I bring my Ninja Trader Control Center in front of every trader in the room. And I show them the profit loss on every trade. We usually spend an hour after we finish trading, and we go over the validity of every entry. We look at the E-mini, we look at crude that I trade, we look at the NASDAQ, we look at the YM, traders like to look at the bonds, traders like to look at the DAX. We go over all these markets. And the reason we do that and spend so much time is there will occasionally will occur, you will make money on a really crappy trade. And it's important for you to be able to assess. Just because you made money on a trade doesn't make it a good one. Because the next 9 times you take it, it's going to blow up in your face. So it happens every now and then. So it's important to go back and look. And I personally take my trading apart. I mean, people in the room say, stop beating yourself up. But I think it's important to be very tough on yourself, critique all of your entries, and make sure everything's perfect. Because that's the way you're going to achieve profitability. The only way. You can't be too hard on yourself after the fact. You really can't. And I'll tell you the toughest thing that I found, there's 2 things that I wanted to talk about that I'm not going to go into, and those are pivots. and the other one is overbought, oversold. It's tough for us to chase a market very far down or very far up because as price extends past the 50, the probability of getting a full winner diminishes. Those are two parameters that are very difficult on the right edge, but we trade them and we make good money. Gotcha, Ford. It's great to have you in anyway. Got it, got it. I know, Larry. I'm sorry about Skype. Do you know that no one ever calls me on Skype? And I mean, I'm embarrassed, but this is a woman who wants to date me, and she called me 9 times in a row. I mean, it's embarrassing. I'm sorry. I mean, I would have turned off. I don't know how to turn it off. It's not even open on my computer, but it rings anyway. Thank you, Jack. I just typed in stop. Yeah, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off the ringer on Skype because I can't have that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to shut it down, Mark. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. I will. I got everyone telling me that. Clark, what can I tell you? Yes, you'll get the webinar replay. You will get. Okay, well, I think you saw everything, Cross. Yeah, your chart. We have tons of charts, including this. And listen, I can do a quick rotation. I'll show you crude. I mean, I'm not frightened of showing you these charts. I want you to see these charts. Show you anything you like. I just don't want this to run really, really late. And I'll tell you, the last one I gave ran 2.5 hours. I didn't get done till 8:30. Now here's crude. And we can look on Friday. We can look together. Now here comes the scanner. Now I don't think that crude is active right now. Well, the scanner is showing you green, green, green here. It's not going to give you an alert. There's no background bias. But this is what it looks like. And when this lights up, this is when you're going to open the market. And what I recommend you do is you take the market, you fold it up like this. And I used to trade 12 Forex pairs at night. We had a Forex trading room until I collapsed from exhaustion. I was getting up at 2 a.m. Eastern and then still trading the futures room at 9 o'clock in the morning. When you get this alert, you pop the chart open. So you can follow 50 stocks, 12 Forex markets, whatever you want to do. You don't have to take up any space. Just close it up and pop. And let's see if we got any trades on crude. Right here. Now here's a loser. I'm not going to hide it. Right here. This is a nice winner. Right here. This is going to make our first target. This is 5. It's 5 ticks. And I think this is going to make 5. Let's see. We have 5. We have, let me just make sure I got the right, oops. Let me just make sure I got the right settings. See, it's the wrong inputs. It's a 5, 2, 10 on crude. And this is these are optimized settings. Let's go back because we want the crude. Now, right when we open, we have a winner. It's right here. Now here's our entries, and these entries are not going to fire. If you look at the 15, you have to look to the left side of the candle. It's yellow. The 15 must be red. This 15 on the left side of the candle must be red. This, actually the winner you don't get either because it's either green or yellow. So you don't get anything here. And that's okay. So here's a winner right here. Now here's a trade. Here's a trade. And here's a trade. Now these are very, very small. Oh, this is no trade because of the color of the 15. But you've got these two. Now the only thing I would warn against is volume. So right here, this trade goes 5. That's a first target. This trade is not going to make it. So just be careful. Just be careful of volume. And we'll keep going. And here's another winner. That's a huge winner. Look at this winner. Well, this, unfortunately, you can't. This will not trigger because the 15 is not green. This one is not going to make it. And here you go. Now, low risk all the way up. If you have a large risk tolerance, if you have high risk tolerance, you're going to trade it to here. Either way, you have two great winners here. Now we're going into the middle of the night. Short, no trade. 15's wrong color. 15's wrong color. So you can look at anything. So there were 5 or 6 winners and 1 loser. It can be used on TOS. TOS, great. It creates a great data feed. You have to use Ninja, but the data feed can come from TOS. You got it, Joseph. That's what we're trying to do, man. No, John, this works for any financial instrument. You're looking right now at crude. It works on stocks. I just don't have a Forex data feed. I'm telling you, you're going to get, these are the 2 data feeds I have right now. I have Kinetic and I have CQG. Now, for some reason, my FXCM data feed, which is live, I don't know why, but it's not working. And I would love to show you Forex trades. It's not hard to get an 8 to 15 pip winner. And if you trade 12, and it's not difficult, and I'll show you exactly what I used to trade right here in the instrument manager. I used to trade the Aussie dollar, the euro pound, the euro yen, the euro dollar, and then all the pound crosses because you're trading it at 2 a.m. So it's a European session, and traders love love the pound Aussie, the pound Canadian, the pound yen, the pound Kiwi, the pound dollar, the pound, and then I like the dollar yen, and then a couple of the euro crosses. Those are big, and they've got great volume, and they trade terrific. And the scanner's going to pick up a lot of winners on the Forex. And you can trade them all at the same time. I'll show you right now. Let me see if I have another chart hiding somewhere. But let me just close this. But if you have the data feed for it, and you'd like to, let me just, such a pain in the neck that I did this. Let me show you real quickly. I mean, you can have the Forex up. Let me reopen this. So here's crude. Now what I'm going to do is find another chart somewhere. And here it is. And we're going to put in, dial in anything. Let's dial in NVIDIA. Let it load. Now, if I had my Forex data feed up, you could put up a Forex pair at the same time. So you can trade crude, the Forex, and stocks all at the same time. Now, here's NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA, because of the price, is on a 20. No, this is right. 10,420. So you have NVIDIA up. You have crude up. So you can have dashboards that watch these, and you can trade all 3 of these markets at the same time. Forex, stocks, and futures if you like. We format everything for you, Steve. Sergio is going to go into your computer via TeamViewer and format everything. He's going to format your system for stocks, for futures, for Forex. Now, for Forex, we have the Uni-Renko input. For futures, we have all the Uni-Renko inputs. For stocks, it don't kill us, but if you give us 25 stocks, we'll give you the Uni-Renko inputs for it. So we do all that work for you. And we're also going to give you the best automatic trade management strategy. Where's the best place to take your first target? Where's the best to take your second target? You have to tell us a little bit about your risk tolerance. If you trade 1,000 shares of NVIDIA, or you trade 100, or you trade 10, some traders like to take off 50-50. Other traders like to take off a third, and a third. There's no right way or wrong way. There's simply whether you want to take a bigger risk or a smaller risk. That is either way. There is no right way to that. And we'll give you both of those ATMs, depending upon what you like. The longer swing trading, Steve, works really, really well. That's what I do for all of my options trades. And we can set up NVIDIA on a really longer term chart. Let's set it up on a 50. Let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 4. Next page. This is a 20. And this is a 100. You're trading a 20 Uni-Renko. Now let me show you something that I forgot to mention. The system is totally configurable. And let me just wait for it to settle down a little for a second. I hate to play too much with Ninja because Ninja has this propensity for collapsing. Now the chart's frozen. So let me be careful with it because I don't want Ninja to collapse. Let me give it a second to unlock. Here, I'm going to show you on an unlocked chart. Now the whole system's locked. Well, what there are inputs for the background bias and the quant speed. And we're going to show you how you can change this from a short-term day trading system to a long-term swing trading system. Now, I can't get Ninja to unlock. And if I drop it, it'll take me 5 minutes to come back. So I'm sorry I can't show you, but I'm telling you the swing trades are great. You're going to get, obviously, they're going to come much less frequently. I would increase the size of your watch list, and your targets are going to be enormous. So you're always going to look for a 3 to 4 to 5 to 1 risk to reward. And like I said, this is a timeless system. It does not matter what your time frame is. And I'm sorry that this thing is frozen, and I have no clue why. Here's my control panel. It's completely open. And there's our 1387 for the week. And I have no idea why the charts won't budge. But I can't get them to do anything. I'm sorry. I really am. Stephen, I recommend that you take the trade-off based on the average true range of the instrument. We know the likelihood of a stock or future or Forex market and how far it's likely to move. If you want to trade it via background color, you can. If you want to take it on the first reversal candle, that's a very valid exit. The first reversal candle you get, you exit. But we're going to give you the optimized first and second target on every instrument. Now, like I said, there's a lot of right ways of doing things in terms of getting out of a winning trade so that you milk it as much as possible for as much profit as possible. And it's really based on your risk tolerance. We'll give you both of the automatic trade management strategies. One will take you out on the first reversal. The other will take you out based on the ATM or on the volatility of the instrument. You can decide whether you want to take the added risk of going for the triple or the home run, or you want to play it a lot closer to your vest and simply go for the single or the double. And like I said, there's absolutely no right way or wrong way. It's totally based on your risk tolerance. You're going to make money in both systems. Now, okay, James, the risk to reward on crude is about 0.8 to 1. Your risk is slightly greater than your reward. And that's based on market structure and price action. You can't get a 1-to-1 risk. But if 80% or more of your trades are winners, you're going to make a ton of money. And remember this other thing too. The trade starts with an 11 tick stop. But for every tick the trade goes in your direction, that stop is pulled in your direction, because we have a trailing stop. So let's say your first target is 5 and it goes 4. Instead of taking an 11 tick stop, you're going to take a 7 tick stop. So it mitigates your losses, and you rarely take a full loser. So I'm giving you the metrics of the trade at the start. And your risk reward on the E-mini and crude are about 0.8 to 1. And if you try to get more than that, you're simply not going to be profitable, because that's based on math. It's not based upon what we want. Remember, you're trading a leveraged instrument. Leveraged instruments, you simply can't get. The most you can try to squeeze is 1-to-1. And I'm telling you, if you go for that other 0.2 to make it a 1-to-1, you won't get your targets out. So we very commonly get a first, second, and third target out on the E-mini, and we make $300 on one trade. And if we didn't get that third target out, it would cost us. So I'm telling you, it's the best way to trade. And I just saw a webinar, and I'm also not going to mention the group, but I liked their open, and their open was how you can make more money trading one contract and only winning 36% of the time than you can trading 2 contracts winning 70% of the time. I really liked what their approach was. Their approach was counterintuitive, and really, it seemed to me, based on honest analysis. They're basing their exits on real life situations that are created out of math, so that you can actually trade 2 contracts and get a higher win percentage and make less than if you trade 1 contract and win less frequently. And I really liked that webinar, and I signed up for it because I'm going to listen to it, because I want to see what those guys have to say, because that's a group that tends to be very honest and very open. They're rare, but they're there. No, Jack, you can trade any future you like. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, we don't trade lean hogs or orange juice, but I have a chart set up for the Dow, the Nasdaq, the Russell. Now we're going to be opening up a room after the first of the year that's going to start trading at 4 a.m. Eastern time. And we're going to capture the European session. I have another trader who's going to run that room. If you're a part of this room, of my room, you'll get a free trial in there. Then you're going to have to pay a small fee, because that other trader is going to has to make money off of attendance. But this is a terrific trader who's going to be trading the DAX, the 6E, and the 4X, which is fabulous late at night. I just can't get up. I'm a single dad. I have a 17-year-old kid. I have to make all his meals and make him his scrambled eggs and bacon in the morning. I can't do a 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. session, but we've got a person to do that. So you can trade anything here. Okay, understood that Renko size maybe need an adjustment every 90 days, but it is very rare to need to change a component of the quants. No, we have changed the quants in the last year, Robert. We've done it significantly. What we've done is we've simply sent out packages that upgrade them. You haven't had to change them on it because there's no inputs. But we have made major adjustments. If you remember, Robert, there used to be 3 quants. Now there are 5. So we've made huge adjustments. Now those are upgrades you're always going to get. Doesn't matter whether you buy in 2018, 2019, or 2025. Those are upgrades and tweaks to the system based on our analysis that gets us more winners. It's the add-on systems, like the automated system for the scanner, that's going to be different. Ricardo says, you guys are second to none, you rock. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Yes, Dave. We should, I mean, we already have it on Ninja 8, Dave. If you call us, we can upgrade you. If you're on 7 now, on Monday morning, Sergio will upgrade you to 8. This system is absolutely fully operational on 8. And if you are not on 8 now and you're on 7, we'll upgrade you to 8. And, you know, that just comes with everything. No, Lee, it's the same basic system. I mean, we don't trade futures, forex, or stocks any differently because it's the same thing that moves them. It's money. And this is what we're tracking. Tracking anything else is useless. Now, these chart patterns are trying to also track money, but they don't do it very efficiently. That's the problem with a rising and falling triangle. They're trying to tell you through price action and market structure what the institutional traders are thinking, but it just isn't good enough. And if you try to use those, they're gonna run you off a cliff. Just like 95% of day traders lose money, they've been losing money on chart patterns for 20 years. But our system does not change from stocks, futures, or forex. Great. G, you absolutely can get that. And also you can just call us or send us an email. And the swing trade, I was trying to show you a swing trade on NVIDIA when the system locked. And that's just, well, I just got rid of the chart. Let me see if I can change this to NVIDIA and show you a swing trade. Because you're going to get great swing trade opportunities. Let me just rotate crude to NVDA. Before, it wouldn't let me even take it out. So here's NVDA. And let's change the inputs. And we're just going to add a 0 to each one. And hopefully that will not crash. And here we go. Now, we're not going to get, now here's the other thing that I wanted to show you. We went from a 2 Uni-Renko to a 20 Uni-Renko. Now, here's what we have to do. And this is something that you're going to have to do. Every time you go up a Uni-Renko speed, you have to adjust the background bias in the quant. I wasn't going to go into this much detail, but I'll show you how. It's very simple to do. Now, here's the quant speed. It's set at 13. Now, for a 2 Uni-Renko, it's at 8. And I have to write this down because we just made a big jump. And all you have to do is just go up a fib number. So I'm going to bring over my my chart here and put in fib numbers. And I'll show you how you do it. It's very, very simple. Here's the list. So a 2 Uni-Renko is on an 8. A 4 Uni-Renko is on a 13. A 6 a 21. An 8 a 34. A 10 a 55. A 12 an 89. A 14 a 144. 16, 18, and a 20 is a 610. So the input here on the quant goes from 8 to 610. And the input on the bias goes from 13 to 610. It's really easy. We'll configure it and show you exactly how to do it. Now, Ninja has to give us the data, and I know the problem is I need more days to load. I have 10 days to load. Oh, let me load 50 days. Anytime you see that yellow line, it just means because it's accumulating data from multiple markets, it just doesn't have enough data to create the line. So it's loading the data and hope to God that the system will not collapse. Here we go. All right. Now I know how. So there's background bias. See, it's only the background is only occurring on the right edge. And this sometimes will be a problem with Ninja. Let me reload all historical data. And this is not a software problem with us. This is a NinjaTrader issue on fractal analysis. When you have multiple time frame analysis, usually you can get it to come back. So it's loading all historical data. It's not doing it. Try one more time. It's not showing me the background. There's nothing I can do. If we look at it, we're just going to have to, and you know what? It's also not doing the quant. Oh, here it is. It is doing it. Look at that. Now, this is probably not an entry, even though it's close. Like I said, you're not going to get a lot of them. Now, this is a potential entry. I can't tell because I don't know the background bias. But you can see it sets up perfectly. The 15 is crossing. It's red. The 50 is red. And this is a gigantic move. Now, it's a one-day move. I have to come way up tight here, all the way to the bottom. This is a $1.86 in one day. Now let's look for a trade that's going to last us a few days. Now this could potentially be right here on this entry. Now the quant line is green. I don't believe it. I just think that Ninja's screwing us up here. And I'm sorry. Let me keep going here. See, here's your entry right here. And based upon it, you can ride this trade all the way down. This is a gigantic trade. Now let me see. Now this is still too fast of a time frame to get a multi-day analysis. And the background, I'm afraid, I don't think is accurate. I just think it's Ninja screwing us up because it's not red. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried my best, but I mean, I get, listen, I hate to say you're going to have to trust me, but this is going to give you great trades. Let me try to reload all the historical data again. If Sergio was here, he could fix this in a second. I'm just not Mr. Tech guy, and I don't want to waste that much time on this. But trust me, this will swing trade or day trade. Makes no difference at all. Now you probably need a bigger Uni-Renko speed than this, than a 20. You're probably going to need a 30 Uni-Renko to take a multi-day trade, because these trades look like they're evolving in the course of one day. I'm sorry about that. No problem. That's correct, Steve. If you have the scanner, you will be already on the list to get the automated system upgrade, and we're going to keep that in force through 2018. $5,000, John. That's all you need. Remember, we trade 3 mini contracts, takes $1,500 of margin, and we trade 3 crude contracts. It takes $3,000 of margin, and you're going to take the money out once a month. So you're going to push and push and push and push your equity up. And I'm telling you, next week I am going, starting tomorrow morning, I am going for $1,500 to $2,000 next week. Sure, John. No, James. Okay. Oh, Scott, I see Bitcoin going to 0. Let me tell you just really quickly about Bitcoin. This was, I gave a very big webinar about cryptocurrencies, and the problem with the cryptos, I'll just tell you really quickly. There's no way to ascertain value. They never produce an earnings report. They never produce anything. How can you determine the value of a financial instrument when they never provide you any financial data? And this is one of the biggest things I talked about in the webinar. And I liked a couple of them. I liked Ethereum. I liked Omizi Go. I liked Ripple. There were a few, but once I started the system, I only made 2 recommendations, and I made money off of Litecoin. But right now, I wouldn't touch this because there's no way to ascertain value. I mean, they don't provide us with any metrics. And I would never touch a financial instrument where I have no idea how to value it. And as far as I'm concerned, the blockchain technology is going to be eaten up by the big tech companies. They're going to be incorporating that into their own technologies. And I mean, the cryptocurrencies could essentially become valueless, and I wouldn't even go near them. I wouldn't risk any money on them because I can't tell you how much Bitcoin's really worth, how much Ethereum is really worth. I don't have any idea. It's all speculative. And I used to see all these guys on the internet come out with their videos on their in-depth assessment, and the only thing they couldn't tell you was, what do you base the value of the instrument on? And there is no way to do it. None. So if you ever get a financial instrument and you can't make any assessment as to how much it's worth, don't buy it. I know everyone's saying that cryptos are bottomed out, but how do they know that? I have no clue how they know that. Volume right now in the cryptos is very light. Traders are not interested in it. And let me tell you, you can make a mint right now on stocks, futures, and Forex. Why would you want to put your money there? I mean, I don't see it. I don't see the point. That's my quick crypto evaluation. Okay. James, you get great options entries. I'm telling you, I don't day trade options. But if you're looking for a 75-cent move on the Qs, and as soon as the entry hits, you buy an in the money call, and as soon as you hit your targets, you exit, you're going to make nice money on that. You really do. And what's great about the Qs and great about the SPY is that they have tremendous liquidity. You can get into the option and out of the option with very, very little, bid-ask disparity. They're so liquid. When you trade stocks, it's a little tougher because liquidity may not be there to enter and exit that quickly. But the Qs and the SPY are great, and they'll bring you great money. If you make a buck on the SPY on an in the money call, you're going to make real good money. When will we have? I'm not sure what that. I can't see that. It's something working on Forex. I'm not sure, Michael, what you mean. What you mean by the B and that J? Mercedes is probably not, but I have someone else. Okay, I want to be honest with you. Mercedes was made an offer to manage a big equity firm, and she's probably going to take that offer. It's better than mine, but we have another trader. Okay, you should have just called us Jay. No problem. It's good. It's going to be sent out every Sunday night, but I'm going to update it during the week if I see something. Remember, I check that Benzinga data feed every night, and that's what I do in bed because I all the alerts that are important to me are emailed to me. And if I showed you my Gmail account, I have about 25,000 Benzinga emails. So I just go through them. And if I see overnight, a lot of these companies come out at night with their earnings. Well, Costco came out Thursday night, and it had already dropped an enormous amount of money. But I just knew that in the morning it would have tremendous volatility. When I see that, you'll get an intra-week alert to add that stock to your watch list because you may get 3, 4, or 5 entries that'll make you 50 to 75 cents each, and you can make $3 or more on a stock. You trade $1,000, 1,000 shares. That's $3,000. You trade 100 shares, it's 300. That's a lot of loot. And remember, your risk is tiny compared to your reward. Thank you so much, Joseph. You wrote, it's hard to find someone severe and honest and hardworking. Let me tell you, I swear to God, Joseph, we bust our case here. We really do. And that's why I'm stopping the we're always going to give you system upgrades. But we do so many add-ons, we're destroying ourselves. But everyone who has this year is going to get the auto. And I think the auto is going to trade amazing. We're going to put it on futures, Forex, and stocks. And it's going to give us tremendous entries. And I think we can have it trading 100 separate instruments. I always like to underpromise and then overdeliver. So I don't want to say it's going to be a windfall, but it has the potential to be a real home run. It's only going to take a perfect trade, and we're going to milk it for as much money as the market says we can. And if we can get multiple trades like that on 100 instruments, I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to retire. And from my island in Tahiti, I can talk to you guys, tell you how the weather is. I don't, honest to God, Christopher, I don't know. Chris asked about how much the automation will be in 2019. I don't know. I really don't, Christopher. We don't back test, Sean. We forward test. What we do is that's why we use market replay data. Like, I agree with you. I don't like back testing. What Sergio does is he has a program and we run 6 months of market data at 500 speed. At 500 speed, it takes 72 hours. Now, the software that he has tells us how many successful entries and how many losers without us having to go through 6 months of information. So I am 100% with you on that, Sean. Back testing is not really optimal. That's why we only forward test. Sure, John. The indicators that are included are everything you see here. And here's the list right here. You get bias. Now, the dashboard is the trade analyzer. You get the quant line. You get our modified fast and our modified slow moving averages. Remember, the modified fast is a 15 EMA of a 15 EMA. This is a 50 EMA of a 50 EMA. Our oscillator, and I have this as here's the dashboard twice. Let me just remove it. Those are the indicators that you get. That's the system. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 indicators, which is really the core of the whole system. Yes, Dan, that's a great question. And that is, does the scanner on the automated system require kinetics? It all depends on what you want to trade, Dan, and what your broker is willing to offer you. If you want to trade stocks on Ninja, you're going to have to add a kinetic feed. Remember, too, almost always, if you want to trade Forex, you're going to need a separate Forex broker. And now, Ninja should provide you with a very, very cheap, if negligible, CQG data feed to trade futures. Your Forex broker should provide you with a very, very cheap, if negligible, Forex data feed. But if you just want to stay with those two brokers, you'll have to do what I do, is I buy a kinetic data feed, and I get 500 kickers. I pay a lot of money because I use my kinetic data feed to back up my futures and to back up my Forex, which is why I have no idea why it's not working. I pay over $175 a month for it. So, but you will need kinetic for stocks only. If you don't want to trade stocks, you don't need it. That absolutely does. The NDT will work on Forex charts great. And Jaspreet, there's a thing that you can do with it that's really unique. And that is the Forex. I don't want to, again, get into too much detail, but the Forex markets have intrinsic, have a harmonic where they oscillate just a little bit. And if you want to take a Forex trade, let's say you don't want the pip spread. What the NDT will let you do is this. It's real good. You're going to miss some trades, but when you get in, let's say the price you want to get in is here. And unfortunately, you're going to have to get in on the spread here. No, it's the other way around. Since you're selling short, you're forced to go in here. This is the ask. And here's the bid. I can have that reversed on a short trade, but it doesn't matter. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to purchase lower than you want to purchase. So what you can do with the NDT is, let's say this is a 2 pip spread and the market's jiggling 2 or 3 pips. You can trigger the trade here, but not execute, and look for the 2 pip pullback to the bid to actually enter the trade. So you actually get the bid price and you don't have to pay the ask price. In this case, it would be reversed because you're going to pay the ask price and not the bid price. And so you eliminate the spread, get in cheaper, and by the time you're in the trade, you're already up 2 pips. Now, every now and then, you won't get that pullback. So you get the trade triggered, but you won't get the execution. So it's up to you. You can take a 1 pip pullback on a 2 pip spread. At least you'll cut the spread in half. So that's a great configurable trade on the Forex and will help you eliminate that spread. If you have a 1 pip spread, you take a 1 pip pullback, get executed, you've eliminated the pip spread. So it works great on Forex, and as a way that you can cop money out of the market. It's very, very rare where you can trigger a trade but wait for the better price to get executed. This is a little differently, it is, than the 3-line system, but we'll give you nice credit for it if you want to move to this system too. Okay? Yeah, if you own the full system, this is our full system. This is an additional cost because this is a brand new system. This isn't an upgrade or an add-on. I mean, this is a new system. That's why cross. Thank you, Joseph. I'm glad. Great. I'm glad you're talking to Sergio, Joseph. James writes, RLT is awesome. Mark tells Sergio to get to work. I do. I always say to Sergio, "Why are you eating lunch?" I got him under lock and key with a whip. Yes, you do, Joe. Yes, you do, Joe. You get both. The scanner is available, Shalom, now on NT8. Sergio can configure it for you on Monday on NT8. DAX room timing, James, we're looking at probably 4 a.m. Eastern time, right after the first of the year. Cross, don't worry. You just send us an email and we'll take care of you. Okay? Do not worry. Yeah, you know what? You're right. FXCM stopped supporting NT7. But you know what, Joseph? You know what it did? It does give you data. It just doesn't give you historical data. So if I plug it in, it starts to trace out. So if I plugged it in the night before, it would work. But if I want to plug it in now and I want to go back 2 weeks, it won't work. You're right. That's the problem with FXCM. You're right. Thank you, Joseph. No, you can't, Al. FXCM, well, yeah, it will, but you have to be on Ninja 8. FXCM will support NT8. Now I'm on 7. I've got to move to 8. Okay. Yes, I know. I saw that, Sean. We don't back test. Oh, listen, look, anytime I give you an entry, all I'm doing is trying to give you my best guess. I'm not trying to guarantee that it's an entry. I'm just trying to give you a feel for the system. When we do our analysis here in the office, we base it on forward testing. And I acknowledge that, and I read your question out loud about back testing. It is not as sophisticated nor as precise as forward testing, and that's why when we release a number that tells you what is going to be your likely win percentage, it's based on 6 months of forward testing, not on 6 months of back testing. Now, I can't hook up my forward testing here because I want to show you multiple markets and I want to show you multiple instruments. And it takes a long time to forward test. I mean, if you want to forward test 6 months, it takes 72 hours. So, but I did see your question. I acknowledge it, and I tell you that you're correct. Ness, it should be Monday for the NT8 full version and scanner. Unless I misread Sergio, it's all set. Just call us and we'll set you up. NT8. Yeah, NT7 is a pain, and that's why that chart probably did lock. Eventually I was able to click it out. No problem. Well, listen, we're not going to have it. I wish I could find a trader. If I had a trader, we'd do a stock room. I really do. If somebody could come forward and show me their results and show me that they're consistently profitable and great, I'll hire them. I do have one other person to work at night on the. I think it's a better opportunity because it opens up. We have a lot of traders in Europe, and also if you really want to be intrepid and you want to get up at night, you could finish your whole day between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning. You go back to sleep, and if nobody bothers you, you can get up for lunch and go to the gym or go to the movies. I mean, let me tell you, the DAX is a formidable instrument at night. It's real good. The only thing you have to worry about is slippage because it moves like lightning. But we're going to have the opportunity to trade it. Thank you, Ness. You guys rock. Angie, it's not 90%. I want to set it at 80%. Because I absolutely believe that you're going to get 80% winners. Because I sit here, and although it's back testing, I go through that thing. Now remember, I don't do it in the middle of the night on crude oil when it's trading 3 contracts a minute. But if you start at 8 a.m. and go through from 8 a.m. to 2 to 3 in the afternoon, it's so tough to find a loser on these multiple instruments. You're going to trade 8 to 9 out of 10. That's why when I sent out the invitation, I put 17 to 18 out of 20 winners. And I could have said 18. I'm going to set it just south of 90%, but it is that good. The best platform, John, I think is NT8. I mean, that's the one I like the best. It's really a nice configurable platform. It uses less resources than NT7. We're all ready to go on NT8, and I'm going to upgrade the room platform to NT8 too. Robert, I swear to God, I'm sitting on Sergio's head about that NT8. I want it available this week. I'm telling you, I can't strangle him because he's a lot tougher than I am, and I'm an old guy. But I really am pushing him to get NT8 this week. I want that done. For this system, John, we don't need them. They're not required. And you still get upwards of 80+% wins on this system. It does give you pause. Let me tell you. In the room, I trade completely discretionary on my own, Joseph. Now, I want to wait for this to go to auto, and then I'm gonna auto this system in the room. So we're gonna have two systems running: the auto on this system, and I really want to set it up on an enormous number of instruments. And I still like the discretionary trading. I really do. Usually, if you don't have a good day, it's my fault. But we get a lot of traders in the room that are much better traders than me, and they make a lot of money. The system gives very reliable entries. If you just have the patience and you have the discipline, you will make money. You really will. I've had traders in that room for 5 years with me. Don't worry, Angie. We're going to send out. Okay, we'll look at that, Ness. Ultimate trading software. Stephen, I don't know what the ultimate trading soft system is. The Trend 3 indicator. No, our quant is unique. We haven't looked at any other software to create it. Honest to God. I'm in all truth, I don't know what the ultimate trading system is. I truly don't. It obviously isn't the ultimate system because there've probably been 100 million systems after it. Ultimate makes the supposition that it's the end of the road. Well, listen, Victor. Ninja 7 is not perfect. That's the problem. It uses system resources, and the problem with Ninja, and this is only when you do a retrospective analysis, is that it doesn't. And this is only 7, not 8. It doesn't handle fractal analysis well. Now, this is only retrospective, not on the right edge on a live chart ever, and not when you're trading a full day or 2 days. But when you do a look back, the code is befuddled, and I can tell you exactly why. On a live chart, it's all the assessments are being made by the forming candle with the previous candle. But when you do a look back, sometimes Ninja will make the assessment of the forming candle with the future candle, which wasn't present on a live chart. And when it does that, it's simply the platform's inability to handle the fact that it's a multi-time frame analysis and a multi-market analysis. Now, 8 doesn't do that, but 7 does that sometimes. On the right edge, though, on a live chart, it never does that. I mean, you can trade 7 great. And I've been trading 7 for a few years real well. But that's what happens retrospectively on 7. It can't figure out whether to use all the analysis from the previous candle or from the future candle. So it just makes a mess of things. And that's just the platform. Don't worry about it in terms of trading, though. That's it, Joseph. I mean, it's a fiat currency, but here's the difference about gold and silver. Both gold and silver have industrial use, especially silver. Gold has some industrial use, and it's also been a fiat currency since the dawn of time. So it does have validity because it's accepted around the world. I mean, there are countries that are looking to put major restraints on cryptocurrencies. It's a technology, so I think it's a little bit different. I mean, um, I think there is ways of assessing the price of gold and silver, but there's no way to assess the price of a crypto. And remember, every gold and silver company creates earnings. I mean, you listen. You can buy gold bullion for sure, but I think there's a validity to that. It just doesn't happen with cryptos. You got it. It's ether. You got it. Correct. This is it. That's it, Priscilla. Look. I think crypto could be a scam. I wouldn't go near it. Absolutely, Joseph. It is very useful on simply the futures, because you can trade crude, you can trade the 6E, you can trade the E-mini, you can trade the Dow, you can trade the NASDAQ, you can trade, what else do I like? You can trade bonds, you can trade notes, and wait for a scanner signal. You may get 2 scanner signals a week on bonds, but bonds are $31.25 a tick. You get a 6-tick move on bonds, you can make $500 or $600 on that instrument. So absolutely is helpful to you to watch multiple instruments. Absolutely, Michael. Benzinga creates a data feed for everything, also Forex. It looks at every single news report. And in fact, if you look at the alerts, you can alert it, I believe, for Forex information. Let me find the alerts here. But it absolutely creates, let me find, see right here, there's your Forex alert. Every time, I don't have it alerted, but now I'm going to get all the Forex emails into my account. So it does provide you with very, very nice Forex data. It's everything. Listen, a Bloomberg data feed costs you about $5,000 a week. This is $80 a month. It's the same data, but you get it a little bit later. That's all. I mean, the big institutions use a Bloomberg feed. That's Michael Bloomberg, who's worth $500 trillion and was mayor of New York City. This is almost the same, only the data comes in a little bit later on. Oops. I mean, if you want Benzinga and you let me know, I can get you a very, very inexpensive price. And I'm not selling for them, believe me. Thank you, Joseph. Oh, thank you, Joseph. That's very, very, very kind of you. I appreciate it. Okay, Scott, I'm confused when you say automation. Are you talking about the auto trader on a different? No, Scott, I'm talking about we're going to auto first this trade analyzer system. That's going to be the first auto trader system we put out, because this system is the entries are so reliable. This is the one that we're going to try to roll out in January of 2019. I don't see why we can't. It's eminently automated, easy to automate. That's going to be our first automated system. Stephen, I mean, we sort of recommend a VPS if you trade the auto, because remember, the part of having the auto is that you're not forced to sit there and watch it. So God forbid you're in a trade and your regular data feed goes down. The VPS will save you. So it's so cheap. Speedy servers, which Rory can set you up with, is super cheap and amazingly reliable and really good. And it's really worth it. I think it's $80 a month. Let me tell you, it's 4 ticks. I mean, on the E-mini or 5 ticks. It's really, really worth it. Especially if you auto trade. That's just my personal recommendation, Steve. For futures, you can absolutely use continuum markets. It's a great data feed. Yep, Joseph, I got that. You know what, Robert? We don't want to give it away because what Robert was saying was seller leased Sergio's custom forward testing software. It's so good that I just don't want another company to have it, even for money. It's very hard to do 6 months of forward testing, and his software is really complex. Because remember what happens when you forward test at 500 speed, you get slippage. And this software can help adjust. It's not an easy piece of software to replicate, but it's a great idea. But we're not that entrepreneurial. But someday, who knows? Okay, guys. Remember, Sean, I told you, we forward test. We don't back test. Yes, you can. You can use Oanda. Oanda can go right to NinjaTrader, John. In fact, it's one of the best data feeds that we have an API for that will totally power Ninja for you. Oanda is great. You know what, Dan? That's so complex, so much there. Just give me a call or send me an email, and I'll give you all the information about that. Okay? You're going to get almost everything. Don't worry about it. You have a full system purchaser. Okay, MTI. I swear to you, John, I'm not familiar with it, and I don't even know about Market Traders Institute. I'm just not familiar with that company. Absolutely, Steve. When we set up the auto, Sergio's going to set it up for you. You're going to get the exact same entries that we get, and hopefully within 95 to 99%, the exact same profit or loss. Yes, Mike. Dan, I believe it's $5.99 to get the scanner because it's a brand new system, and we're giving you an enormous discount. Enormous, really. Hey, okay, everyone. Thank you so much, Robert. Have a great night. I enjoyed talking to everyone. We had a lot of people in the room. Yes, just call us, Dan. Rory will knock it all out for you. John, thank you so much, everybody. Listen, have a wonderful night. Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year. Health. God bless all of you. I hope to God that you all are profitable and make money in these markets. And really, it's my mandate if you come aboard to do my freaking best to make everybody in this group profitable. With 150 people in the room, and if I don't make money in the trading room every morning, I have a rotten day. Really, I have acid indigestion, and I have to take a purple pill. I mean, this is a lot more than just trading to me. It is. I know there's a lot of people in there that depend upon how we do for their living, and it means a lot to me. I don't, Ricardo. I truly, truly don't. just send me an email and I'll have Rory look at it in the morning. I honestly do not know about that. Okay, I don't want to give you information I'm not positive about on my data feed. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. You know, I had a bad day today. The Dolphins lost. The Jets lost, I think. I know the Giants got beaten up. Football, it was a terrible day today. But thanks so much for giving me your time. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care all and have a nice evening. Bye-bye. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.